Let's talk about inflammation. Can you tell me what is inflammation in the body and what causes this sort of response in the body?
Well, at its core, inflammation is like your body's security system. And if you've ever gotten a bruise and seen swelling happen, that's inflammation. And it's actually a healthy response to a problem. It's a little bit like your house is being broken into by burglars and you have an alarm that goes off, and if things get really bad, the police get called, and they to come deal with the problem. And that's all well and good. You need healthy inflammation. If your body didn't know how to respond to an invasion or a problem, everything would break down and you'd be dead within a matter of minutes. But so you're constantly dealing with invaders and pathogens and issues that are out of balance and creating healthy inflammation to respond to it. The trouble is that when you have chronic inflammation, it's a little bit like your security system is sounding the alarm 24 hours a day. And eventually you get splitting headaches and your body's kind of stressed out by all the noise. You can't actually hear if there's a real problem because you're so inundated with the noise from the hyperreactivity. And your police force, if they keep coming out to your house all the time, they get exhausted, they get worn out. It's a little bit like the boy who cried wolf. You stop showing up, right? And then you get a whole new set of problems. So chronic inflammation creates essentially swelling within your body. It creates a systemic overreaction, and that can manifest as our aches and pains, stress. It can manifest eventually as cardiovascular disease. It can create the conditions where you're more likely to develop cancer, more likely to develop Alzheimer's. Inflammation in the brain can create the conditions where plaque builds up in your brain, and eventually it can lead to Alzheimer's. It can also trigger strokes. So these are serious problems. So what starts out as like a little annoyance here or there that never quite goes away gets worse. And most of us think it's normal that the older we get, the more pain we'll have in our bodies. The less well we'll sleep, the more uncomfortable we'll be. And some of that is chronic inflammation that over time builds up. And often, it's like a little injury here or there that your body never really got to process or resolve completely. And it creates this hyperreactivity. But over time, it becomes system-wide. Your entire body becomes inflamed. And that's what gets concerning, because most inflammation is a response to a local issue or a bunch of local issues at first. But over time, systemic inflammation that becomes chronic is what gets really dangerous.